Okay, so in conclusion, I want to give you some really good advice, 3 pieces of advice, or maybe you could say it this way, the top 3 things not to do at the State Fair of Texas Gospel Outreach. Number 1 is don't be distracted. When people come to the booth in their garbs that would say they are of some kind of cultish religion, if they come all tatted up, if they say silly or disrespectful or harmful things, don't be distracted. Get them the gospel, because the gospel is the power of God unto salvation. And I want you to set your face like flint, to not be distracted by what they look like, by what they say. Don't be distracted by what they're wearing, and don't be distracted by if they seem to be in a hurry or something. What you're about to give them is the most important thing they've ever heard in their life. So take your time and don't be distracted. All right, number 2, don't be discouraged. The results aren't up to you. The results are up to God. In fact, it's a partnership. God does the regeneration part, which is the hard part, the supernatural part, and we do the preaching. In fact, without us doing the preaching, God says in Romans 13 or Romans 10 that a man can't even be saved unless we preach to him. And we know that just by us preaching to him without him doing the saving, the regeneration, it won't happen either. So it's a partnership. So when you share the gospel with people, and maybe 7, 8 times out of 10, you don't see a favorable embrace of Jesus, that's okay. Because you never know what may happen to the person next week or next month. Your job is simply to preach the gospel to them. I want you to set your face like flint and give them the gospel. Okay. Number 3, don't listen to anything they say. Okay? Because if you do, you will likely be distracted. You will likely go down a rabbit trail from which you can't return, from which you will not share the gospel. And since we're here to share the gospel, I want you to set your face like flint to give them the gospel. Because when they say or ask you questions like, my Aunt Susie, she was a good person, she died at age 22. Why would God do that? Your pastoral heart, your compassionate heart wants to answer her, wants to help her figure that out. But if you do that, you might end up going down a rabbit trail and never get out. So when something like that happens, when they ask a question, whether it's intentionally meant to get you off track or whether it's just an innocent question, deal with it like this. Just say, hey, look, why don't we let me tell you what the Father did to get you right with him through his Son, Jesus. And then after that, we'll talk about the answer to your question.